fans, AdamHarry here with the Infinity demo. Brian's going to be running here. I'm going to be playing another convention go here at GenCon Bo. And yeah, we're going to throw down some Infinity. He's going to be playing the Pan Ocean, and I've got some Nomads. So, Brian, take us away, man.
All right, step up just a tiny little bit. Stop. Okay, now, there are 3 things you need to know about Infinity in order to play Infinity. That's it, okay? The 3 things are, the types of dice rolls. First type of dice roll is a normal roll. A normal roll is just a skill check. Let's assume that this model right here is unconscious, and that this model right here is a doctor, okay? He's not in the range, but let's pretend for right now. A doctor uses a willpower skill check in order, normal roll, in order to determine whether he's successful in healing someone, or if he fails, he might nick an artery and kill him. It happens. You know? So, this is where the whole thing becomes interactive, and I ask you to roll a die for me.
Roll a die.
Normal roll is that value or less.
So I actually want you to roll a lower than 13.
No, 13 or lower.
I rolled over, which is bad.
Right. So unfortunately, when you doctor and you fail, you cause a wound.
Oh!
Okay, so he goes from 0 wounds to negative,
which is
and
bad.
We're going to remove him from the board normally.
I kill him!
Look at that.
Oh, wait.
You're a horrible surgeon.
I know.
It's like you're a Pano doctor.
Oh.
All right. Here we go. So, in Infinity, positive wounds, you're up and about. 0, you're unconscious. Negative, you're dead, and unless the mission states otherwise, you remove them from the board. Okay? Second type of dice roll is a face-to-face roll. Effectively, it's 2 normal rolls, but you're trying to get better than one another. I'm not going into a whole lot of detail about how this happens. Let's go ahead and state that this model and this model are fighting against one another. Okay? It's your active turn, the Nomad's active turn. They're both wielding combi rifles. Combi rifles are a burst 3 weapon. This means since it's your active turn, you'll be rolling 3 dice.
Sweet. Since
you're reacting, the reactive player only will roll 1 die. Let's talk about what you need. Starting with your ballistic skill for your Nomad, and the fact that the range modifier for a combi rifle from 0 to 16 inches is a +3. Clearly, we do not need to break out a ruler to measure
I'm
this.
within, yeah, definitely within.
You know, I'm like an inch and a half, you know what I'm saying? So, 11 +3 for a range modifier,
14.
There's no cover,
yep.
Okay? So you're rolling 3 dice at a 14 or less. Hold on, let's find out what you gotta roll.
Okay.
Your ballistic skill is a 12. You are wielding the same weapon, so you get the +2 modifier as well. The number you're looking for or less is? 15, that's absolutely right. But you only roll 1 die because you're reacting. Let's go ahead and roll your dice. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
I need you to roll 1 die. Pano player. All right, so.
This is going to be bad for you.
In this case, because the Pano player rolled an 18.
Yes.
He doesn't actually succeed the dice roll. 992, they're all at or less than the 14 you were looking for, so since he has nothing to combat against it, all 3 hits against your player.
You're a warrior, not a surgeon, Adam.
So, let's change the dice roll so we get a little bit of better understanding of how the face-to-face works. And this time we're going to say he rolled a 3, okay? Not great, but 3 is higher than a 2, so you remove both of these, leaving you with 2 hits that you have to defend against. New in 3rd edition.
Yes.
If he rolls the same as your highest value, so he rolled a 9, it cancels all your dice.
Boom. All of them die.
Well, and normally it's a change from 2nd to 3rd.
It was only 1 dice.
Ties, yeah, but ties are cancel each other out. In 2nd edition, since he needed a 15 and you needed a 14, his 9 would be better than your 9.
Right.
In 3rd edition, they cancel each other out.
Okay. That's a big change.
It's a big change. All right.
What had happened if I had hit exactly 14?
Good question. Clearly you played Infinity before.
Maybe once or twice.
Okay, so if you hit the target value, it's a critical hit. It means that the model that you're firing at would take an automatic wound, unsavable, which is a nice segue because the last type of dice roll would be a
saving throw.
There you go, an armor save. Yeah. All right. So, but if you actually get the number that your target number, it's a critical hit. Critical hits can only be canceled out by other critical hits. This is another change in 3rd edition. It used to be that if he needed a 15 and you needed a 14, if he crit and you crit, his 15 would be better than your 14, and his crit would beat you.
Right.
In 3rd edition, crits cancel each other out no matter what the number is. Okay? So, in this situation, we'll go back and say that you rolled a 4 and you rolled a 1, 2, and a 13.
Right.
Okay? So this means you would take 1 armor save.
Okay.
So let's talk about the third type of dice roll. Armor save. So you determine what you need to roll by looking at the type of weapon that he's firing, which is a combat rifle. The stat's not on that sheet. Damage 13 for a combat rifle. Your armor, though, is a 1, and you get to subtract that from the damage value. Okay? So it goes from 13 to 12.
So I'm looking for below 12?
No.
Okay.
This is the only dice roll where you need to exceed the value.
Okay.
Okay? And not, if you roll a 12, you fail.
So it's above 12?
It has to be above, because in combination, you're trying to beat the damage value, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So if you roll a 13, it's like adding your armor value to make it a 14, and the 14 is better than the damage value of the combi rifle of 13.
Okay.
Okay? Go and roll.
A 9.
You rolled a 9. So unfortunately, again, you would take a wound, and since you're a 1 wound model, you would drop unconscious. Okay? Let's say, though, for instance, you rolled a 17, bullet bounced off. You would then have the option to make a guts check or choose to fail. Okay? A guts check would be a normal willpower roll, so you need to roll 12 or less. Okay? Or you could choose to fail and move up to 2 inches to get to better cover. Unlike other games where when you fail a morale check, you might be running off the board and fairly be useless for the rest of the game. In Infinity, you're just searching for better cover, and if you can get to there within 2 inches, you would take it. So I would say if you get to about there, 2 inches, you're now in partial cover, you're good. Okay.
So,
and in this case, I would say choose to fail.
Yeah. So speaking of cover, what kind of modifiers are there for cover?
So all modifiers, not just cover modifiers, in Infinity are multiples of 3. So in partial cover, it's a -3 to hit, but a +3 in armor. Okay? It makes you harder to hit, and when they do hit you, it gives you a greater chance to kind of shrug off the damage.
Right.
Both things. It's really nice.
Yeah.
That's why you see a lot of
Very dense tables.
Yeah, pretty dense. I mean, especially compared to a lot of other games.
Right.
Okay, so we talked about normal roll, that's that value, target value or less, face to face, target value or less, but better than your opponent. And lastly, armor saves where you're exceeding the value.
Right.
Okay. So we talked about the first thing you need to know about Infinity. The second thing you need to know about Infinity is how to generate activations and apply those activations. So on your sheets, you'll notice that you have this particular logo. You have it as well. Okay. It is this logo, which is a regular order in the Infinity universe. Assuming your lieutenant is alive and kicking, at the beginning of your player turn, all your models that have this token or that icon generate regular orders for you.
So in this case, I have 3 models on the board. I'm generating 3 orders, right?
3 regular orders.
3
And
regular orders.
the way that you spend them is you would turn one over and you can activate any of them. Turn another one over, you can activate any of them again, even the same model that you activated the last time. And you keep doing that as long as you have regular orders.
So you can move one model 3 times?
You can activate a model 3 times. Movement's actually kind of tricky because I'm about to explain how you can move a model 6 times with 3 orders. Okay?
Those are normal orders, so I'm assuming there's a
different type of order? Yes, there is. There's an irregular order. Let's assume that your lieutenant was killed before your player turn began. When your lieutenant dies in 3rd edition, all models that generate regular orders now generate irregular orders. Irregular orders must be spent by the player or by the model that creates it. Okay. So this would mean that each one of your models could then activate at maximum 1. So you could throw it away. Like, you could be like, I don't want to activate that model.
But you can't pass those around.
You can't. It's not a pool of orders.
So that's another change.
Yes, because in 2nd edition,
makes officers
you only got 2 orders, and it cost you 2 orders to assign a new lieutenant, effectively making you lose your turn. In 3rd edition, everyone generates irregular orders, and at the conclusion of the turn, you get to decide, I want to make that guy my lieutenant.
Cool. I like that change.
I do too.
All right.
So,
3rd thing.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, we're skipping ahead.
Dice rolls was the first thing. Orders and how to apply them was the second thing. The last thing you have to learn is how to take an order and turn it into something that's useful. Okay?
Fair enough.
So, in order, irregular or regular can be translated into 2 short skills, figures up, 2 short skills, or 1 long skill.
Right.
Examples of short skills: drop prone, stand up, move, fire, close combat. Now, while I can move, and I can move fire, I cannot fire. You cannot cause damage twice within the course of a single order.
Okay.
Okay? Long skills are kind of outside the scope of this demo, so I'm not going to go into them. But this is everything you need to know, core mechanics of Infinity.
Cool.
Okay? So if you guys are ready, I'll have you guys do a 3v3 light infantry showdown.
Let's try. Let's give it a shot.
So,
Let's do it.
typically at the beginning of any Infinity game, your lieutenants would roll a willpower face-to-face roll. Now remember, face-to-face rolls are that or less and better than your opponent, right? And the winner of that would decide initiative order and deployment order, all right?
Yep.
So, in this case, since the models are already out for this demo, you're going to be rolling a face-to-face willpower roll, but it will only determine who goes first.
Okay.
You need a 13, you need a 12.
12 or below.
12 or below.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so this icon is actually a 1.
Oh. Okay.
So he missed it by 1. So since you succeeded, even though it was a 1.
Price is Right rules.
Exactly. He bid $1.
$1.
Went over. So you get to go first. You have 3 orders to activate. If you want some assistance, I definitely can provide it. Or I can have you just run wild with your orders. That's fantastic. So you're going to go ahead and turn over an order.
Yeah.
And you're going to activate this model.
Okay.
Okay.
And my move,
What?
I want to move this model.
Actually, what you want to do, pro tip here for the home viewers, is move just a smidge. Why? Because there's what's called an automatic response order. That's what means when Infinity says it's always your turn. Any model that you have in the front arc 180, so you have line of sight between these 2 models and this model. As soon as he activates her and does anything with her, they get a response, okay, which is effectively 1 short skill. In this example, you're either going to shoot, which is what you're going to do, or you're going to dodge, which you're not going to do.
Yeah, okay.
So I need you to declare what you're going to do with both these models.
I'm going to shoot.
Right. Now, the reason you want to move just a little bit before you declare you're going to fire, right, is because you're going to force him, staying in cover, you're going to force him to declare what his arrows are, right? If he was going to say, I'm going to dodge with her and fire with him, why would you waste any of your burst on the model that's dodging?
That one.
Shoot all on this guy. Why? Because that not only gives you a greater chance to defeat this model, it also gives you a better chance to survive.
Cool.
Right? So you move to smidged. He's declaring arrows from both of these, single order response.
Yeah, that's scary.
Fire, fire.
Yep.
You have a burst 3 weapon, so you can split fire however you would like. 3-0, 1-2, 2-1.
I'm just going to put all 3 shots on one model.
Which one?
This one.
Smart choice. Why? Why would you pick this model?
Not so much in the cover. That one's in cover, this one's kind of in the open.
Correct. This model is not in base contact with the intervening terrain, so because of that, he will have no cover modifier. Okay? So, since you're going to put all your shots into him, we're going to do the non-response one first. Starting with a ballistic skill of 12, range within 16 inches, right? I can break out a tape measure, but
we're within 16.
We're within 16. -3 for cover, right? Yep. So you will have to roll a 12 or less.
12 or less, okay.
You roll a 4. We're going to put this to the side because it's going to be an armor save he will have to make at the conclusion.
Now fire with the other one?
Right. Now this time though it's a face-to-face.
It's opposed, yeah.
He's rolling 3 dice. What do you have to roll?
I need a, let's see, where's my shooting? 11 plus 3, because it's within short range, right?
Right.
So that's going to be a 14.
Right, and since there's no cover, there's no negative modifier. So he's looking for 3 14s or less. You're still rolling up 12. 12 plus 3 minus 3.
Okay.
All right.
Let me roll that again, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I like the first roll anyway.
Yeah. You roll a 7.
Okay. So a 7 is better than the 4, so we remove that. But his 8 is better than your 7, so we remove yours.
Okay.
Both of those are still within his success range, but they're not crits. So you're going to have 2 armor saves to make. Okay? So you will have the 1 to make for her, and you will have the 2 to make for you. We'll start with her. Damage 13 of the weapon.
Armor's 1 based on the model, plus the cover modifier, which is another 3. So armor's 4 effectively. Minus
13,
the damage.
13 minus 4 is 9,
roll.
but you have to exceed it, so you're looking for a 10 or
better.
higher.
Alright, here we go. 12.
So you, before it kind of bounces off, you get to decide if you're going to choose to fail or try to make a guts check. I would choose to fail.
Yeah, we'll fail.
Okay, so you'll drop prone.
Okay.
But it just means if you want to activate it next turn, you'll stand up.
Stand up, shoot again.
Okay, now you have to make an armor save as well. Actually, you need to make 2 armor saves. What do you have to roll?
I have no idea.
Okay, so combat rifle is 13.
Okay.
Your armor value is 1, so you subtract 1 from the 13. So 12. But you have to exceed it. You have to exceed it. 12 won't help you.
So 13 or above.
13 or above. Okay, so you succeed with 1 and fail with the other.
Okay.
What that means is you lose a single wound. He is a single wound model.
So he's dead.
He's not dead.
Unconscious.
So I can choose to maybe move behind them.
Not if you have
You're
to,
knocked out.
You have to still have a positive wound
Okay,
in
so
order to make a guts check.
So he's one.
You're like, boom, I'm unconscious, and now I'm the height of my base. When a model is prone or unconscious, they're the height of their base.
Okay.
Okay? So right now, he wouldn't be able to shoot at you again and kind of get the kill. And if you had a doctor somewhere else on the board, they could make it up there and heal him, potentially. Okay?
So then it's still my turn.
It is still your turn. You have 2 orders left.
2 orders left. She is prone.
Yep.
I'm going to stand up and shoot again.
Okay, so first you're going to activate your stand up, remove the prone marker, right?
Yep.
Now that he is visible to this model, you must declare your ARO.
To this model here?
No, this model. Sorry, my point was
So
off.
tell him again his options.
Okay, so you're either going to dodge or you're going to shoot, which you really want to do. The reason is because if you're dodging, if you're using your pH value, which is 10, if you're shooting, based on what we've already seen from this, it's 12 plus 3 minus 3. So 12 or less is better than a 10 or less.
Okay.
Right? It's only, you're like, well, why would I ever dodge, right? If this was a sniper rifle model and you were way over here, okay, well, you might have a -6 modifier as opposed to a +3.
Yeah.
And he has a +3 modifier to you. So in this case, instead of a 12, you'd be rolling a 6 or less. And in that case, your pH dodge of 10 or less is a better option for you.
pH is physical. So like physical stuff.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aluminum John.
Okay.
17, and I'm shooting 3 times.
Yes.
My BS is 11. The cover is going to cancel out with the range modifier, so it's just 11. All right, I got a 2. Wow.
3 hits. And
These dice are loaded.
Unfortunately, since he's
Demo dice again.
high,
Yeah.
Picking on the
you're
new
gonna
guy.
have to make 3 armor saves.
Okay.
But the good
That's
news
my
at
dice.
least is you still have cover, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's damage 13, -3 for cover, -1 for armor, drops it to a 9.
Okay.
But you have to exceed that value, so 3 10s or higher.
3 10s or higher.
There you go.
Oh, so close, that's a 1.
Yeah.
So still 1 point right there.
Right,
So she's dead.
so she's unconscious. Mark it.
She just falls down, and she's base height, so I can't shoot her again.
Right. You have 1 order remaining.
This order, I'm going to move this guy, and I'm just going to eyeball it here. He's going to run up here and cover. So that'll be my turn.
Okay. Now, you have only 1 model that is not unconscious or dead, so you will have 1 activation, right? I'm going to give you some advice.
Pro tip here.
Pro tip here. Don't try to get hit by all 3, right?
Right.
That's my pro tip for the moment.
Don't get hit. That's a good pro tip.
Move here.
Yep. Yep. So
Now you have line of
should be
sight to
covered there.
only him. They can't see you.
Okay.
So now he must respond with his 1 arrow. What would you like to do there?
I'm going to shoot him.
Okay, so he's going to shoot. Now you declare the second half of your order, which is to
Fire back.
Okay, fire back. So now in this scenario, 12 plus 3 for range, -3 for cover. You roll 12s or less, but you get your full burst of 3 dice.
Okay.
Okay, he's going to be firing back at you. 11 plus 3 for range, -3 for the vertical cover.
So what happens first?
It happens
Simultaneously. It's a face-to-face roll.
So we're both rolled.
Right? So you're looking for 12s or less. He's looking for 11 or less.
I got a 20.
Okay. And he rolled a 2 and a 1. The 19's too high. But since there was nothing else that he was canceling out, your 1 and 2 means he needs to make 2 armor saves.
Okay.
These armor saves will be 10 or higher because damage 13, minus 3 for cover is 10, minus 1 for armor is 9. Higher than that, 2 10s or higher.
2 10 or higher. All right, here we go. We got a 15 and a 14.
So,
bouncing. The concrete is saving me.
Crushing like a champ. But this is the end of one player or one game turn. Okay. So it gives you a sense of how the game plays.
Okay. So was there anything else you wanted to cover in the quick demo here? Just one turn combat? Did we leave anything out?
I don't think so. If there's something else that you would like me to cover, we can.
How many factions are there?
There are 8 factions.
Great question.
There are 8 factions. Let me see if I got them. Ariadna, Nomads, Pano, Yujing, Pakislam, Toha, Combined Army.
Now all the fans are going to be mad at you for
I know.
one faction.
Whatever what you want.
The
left.
Yeah, the robot dudes.
So, of those factions,
those guys are cool.
The left is the Artificial Intelligence faction. Combined Army and Toha are both alien factions. Definitively, the Combined Army is deemed as the evil faction, but the Toha are sneaky, sneaky guys. If you read the Campaign Paradiso fluff, I'm not going to spoil it for you here. Ariadna were the original people who left Earth and kind of shot into space. The wormhole closed. They're a low-tech faction. Everyone else has some sort of tech about them. With Pandoshana being the highest tech and most dominating from a financial standpoint in the human sphere.
And the Nomads float around in space on ships. It's like 4 ships? 3 or 4 ships?
I don't want to get that wrong, so I'm not even going to answer that question.
How many models normally on board?
Maybe some 4 ships.
So how many models are normally on board depends on the order count or on the point count that you want to play. But I would say at 200 points, you're looking at like 7 to 10 models, maybe.
Okay.
At 300 points, you're looking 9 to 12 models. And then at 400 points, which is the new higher upper limit, you're looking at maybe as many as 16 models.
Awesome.
So, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, if we can real quick, can we run through what all the stats are? Because we didn't
Absolutely.
cover all of them, so I want to make sure that everybody knows at home. Obviously movement.
Movement.
And there's two stats, or why are there 2?
The 2 stats because you can move twice, and sometimes they're not the same modifier.
There you
if
go.
you're encumbered or you have special speed, it just might be like in a motorcycle, for instance, it might be 8-6.
Right. Okay.
So close combat, ballistic skill, this is your physicality, so
Doing stuff, climbing, jumping, whatever.
Also in close combat, you use this number to kind of, you know what, we can go over close combat if you want.
Oh yeah, let's...
Willpower.
Yeah.
Arm, which is your armor. BTS is biotechnology shield. Certain weapons actually fire viral weaponry and or might be your defense against hacking.
Yep.
W is the number of wounds that your model can take before going unconscious or dead. And S is actually a new stat in 3rd edition called Silhouette. It's the number that you would use to actually apply a silhouette in front of your model to assist with true line of sight. Because the models are sometimes very dynamically posed, and you might have a guy that's crouched down, but a silhouette too, you apply the silhouette in front of it.
So it's a fixed size now.
Correct.
Fixed size. That's cool. That's cool.
Okay, so quick close combat. Let's pretend this person's still alive and we're going in close combat. In close combat, you're only going to attack once. There are some modifiers to this, but in this scenario, you'd only attack once, utilizing your close combat skill. So go ahead and roll 1 die. You'll be rolling 1. You're both 13 or less. Okay, you rolled an 11, so you successfully hit him.
Cancel out my 2.
Yeah, the damage that you're doing because you're wielding a knife in 3rd edition is pH -1. So now instead of a 10, it's a 9 is your damage. You subtract your armor, so it's an 8. You need to roll a 9 or higher to not take damage from his close combat.
9 or higher. Here we go. I did not.
So, Pandoshana
Boom.
strikes back.
So knockdown in close combat. Is there still the quick kill stuff, or is that not? Is that gone? Or is that not a thing?
I don't know what you mean by quick kill stuff.
So you knocked him down. There's no like. I'm gonna take the time since we're in close combat. I'm just gonna finish him off. Or is it you
yes.
still have to spend the
Coup de
action?
grace.
Yeah.
I believe that's still continuing in 3rd edition.
Okay.
that hasn't come out, and I don't believe it's in the introductory rules. I believe it to be something that will sit around for third edition.
I remember doing it a couple of times, but it's been a while.
So when you're base-to-base with an unconscious model, you can CC to just quick end.
Yep. Cool. Well, that's pretty much it, unless I'm speaking anything else.
No, I'm pretty much at the conclusion of all the rules you're going to learn from me right now.
Right on. Well, Bo, thanks for the quick game.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Brian, thanks for telling us the ropes and everything. AdamHarry for BoLS sign off. Thanks, guys.